Z of Zombies Day 0 Part 7 Max Clock Time. A human body, deteriorated, dirty and badly oily, unconscious, moves towards me, knows nothing, doesn't he realize the reality, and doesn't he care. He has only one basic impulse: he wants what I have, my edible parts, and kills me for a moment of satisfaction. Almost like a criminal. But he has no serious consciousness of any kind, at most only the voracious impulse of a little fish. Of those that there are in Brazil. Piranhas. Right. But these moving bodies are still not extinct, not as long as there are human beings left to infect and kill with their lack of consciousness. On the contrary, those dark beings are increasing, but I, as far as I can, take care that there be fewer of them. Now one of those stinking things approaches me. I measure the distance, I look around me, and I see no one. I see the septic well that they had excavated in the backyard of the house to which I had stealthily arrived, but it is seen that not so much because that unfortunate man took my trail. I walked to the edge of the well and waited, making a countdown: 9, 8, 0. And I sent him to the bottom of the well with a kick in the ass. Yes, I tricked him with a countdown. And I would have liked to shout EDÓ EÍNAI SPÁRTA, but maybe it have been the most convenient, because they are attracted by the sound. When did it start, that of the dead bodies that walk and eat you? It always starts for each person when they encounter their first experience. Why? Because if you tell it, they don't believe you, and those who can have credibility, though they shut it down to their own convenience, and the others to arrange for themselves. For me, it started a while ago, when I went to the post office to complain for a spare package that never arrived by home delivery. I had to repair a computer and had already given a date to the client. The mother mouth that ripped. At the moment I was going in, a face struck against the armored glass of the door, making me some ugly and more ugly fists. When I realized that I was bleeding the glass, it was a guy like 40 or 50 years old, in uniformed male, only the jacket was a second, and began to push the door that I assumed would be locked with key, because it didn't move. If I moved away to near the corner and under a tree. I called emergency, finding that the lines were saturated. As I was not aware of the situation, I asked myself innocently what would have happened. No answer. A 100-year-old woman with glassy eyes was walking like some old women with a little more or anything they had smoked. I didn't care. There are no subtleties. The thing had gone crazy, and I was in the middle on the avenue. The transit was crazy than usual. The vehicles of all kinds seemed to print more speed than already excessively accustomed, and the brakes were more violent. I heard a whistle nearby. A family car had encrusted against the school car. While that distracted me, the old woman raised her arms toward me. Fuck, my grandmother fell in love with me. The old woman would be suffering a dizziness, and would want to hold herself from the first thing she found, I thought, and at that moment the old lady opened her mouth and shed a lot of blood, and it fell something that I later imagined would be a dentistry. Dracula's eagle. I came out of there running as if to win the Olympics, and at a healthy distance of 20 meters I stopped to breathe. I wasn't a hero, not even a brave guy. Just a guy with a minimum of luck, or at least that's what he thought. My name is Max, and my superpower is not to die. Tora hora. It was always fun to watch the movies of zombies, on the screen being one comfortably sitting tasting dining and refreshment. No screen, no refreshing. The old lady continued roaming somewhat disoriented, and I thought of calling again emergencies. In that a huge Chevy of the 70s entered all gas in the street coming from the avenue, made a very open curve, went up to the bench, gave a bandage and embarrassed the old woman, who went out flying like a cloth doll. The car broke the door of the post office, and I saw several guys coming out with the appearance of bleeding drunkards. Two approached the windows of the car. I couldn't see because I ran in the opposite direction. On the street that I took for health reasons, there were only houses and no commercial place. On the door of one of those houses there was a motorcycle in perfect condition. I did not hesitate. I righted, and as I had already seen that he had the keys put, I turned it on. It didn't start. After several attempts, I saw that Mukala EMTY, a fuel empty tank. I disassembled and started to troll again. Here I am, running through my life, with my heart and a couple more things in my throat and adrenaline pumping. I would have stopped watching, but I shouldn't stay. I don't want to be the little bitch for those monsters. Getting to a safe place is my best option. The bloody guys are there and they don't fall for me. And if the old woman, after she was struck, got up and continues to wander, I don't want to meet her again. I have to see where I can find shelter. But I could also get fuel for the bike, which would be my best chance to escape. I need to find fuel, even if it's alcohol. And not drink it. Where? I don't know. I have to try. It's not a movie. These are real and they kill you to bite and are around the corner. I breathe deeply, I concentrate, and I keep escaping. I'm not alone in this. The streets are filled with people who run, and not for sport, some desperate, others reckless, mostly ugly, stupid and selfish, who stumble to escape and save themselves alone. Everything looks like a ant that's been kicked. The cars are driving at full speed and I can hear more shock noises. The shops are closing in the middle of the morning. The psychopathic cannibals, they attack without hesitation, without contemplation, and without pity. They hang in the corner. People run, scream, and that obviously attracts them. Some guys fight with what they have in hand, and others. They're the detonations of firearms roam in trying to the fuck with looking at who they shoot. The mind is as important as the body, and fear drives my careless legs. Despair, paranoia, all that stimulates my ability to escape as the most champion of all cowards. And I go. I don't allow myself to be ugly, stupid or selfish. Such people abound everywhere. The church, with its worn-out bell tower, stands at the corner of the street. Its strong and solid doors offer shelter. I don't even get into that place drunk. I'm scared. I approach cautiously, my hand in the sleeve of an oxidized straw that I found on the way. I walk in front of the main entrance. There are people there. It's full of people reciting their devotions, and the smell of the air coming out from inside is dense and has gases. Well, I'm not the only one with a fear of getting on. In a glance as I pass I see the wooden benches, aligned in orderly rows, with people who seem to wait for the cannibals to come to lunch. I was simulating a distracted air swinging to the right, with the idea of walking under the highway, avoiding people on transit. Maybe you see signals of help, smoke in the distance, and it's not some kind of fire. I walk away cautiously. The highway, full of cars in motion, resembles a wheel on garbage parade. Different types of vehicles avoid the remains of accidents and abandoned cars. Some have the doors open, others are wrapped in different parts of the road. Broken windows, deflated tires, broken windshields. Everything collapses. And for the most part, my cell phone doesn't have a signal. I keep walking, my gaze scanning around. Teenage graffiti on the walls, bad traffic signs, dirty water drains. My cell phone without signal and every detail 90% useless. I keep moving forward, and with every step I'm getting closer to a destination, with pain in my feet. A graffiti sign under the highway put, "Whole apocalypse, issue no and dilate," that passes me by walking along the downtown. At least he had escaped the cannibals. For now. Planning to cut the way to my home, sweet home, I walk through this half-built house, congratulating myself on the mastery of my stealth infiltration. And that's where the zombie that I sent from a kick to the bottom of the septic poo, swallowing and whistling in his last shit bath appeared. Elegance and discretion are as useful as an umbrella in a hurricane, a cannibal less, the first one I dispatch. The highway is a sound of background between the lashes of different dogs and the screams of a lady in a horror film. If anyone had said this would be a wasteful carnival, they would probably have laughed at me. Now, not so much. My cell phone, faithful companion of uselessness, has no signal. What's a smartphone without a network for? Well, to remind me I'm just gonna fix it as usual. The graphics I had seen on the walls are like the messages of a teenager, incomprehensible and full of spelling errors. Be careful. Danger. Meeting of corrupt politicians. And, you know what? Who do you care? The enigmatic inscription, INSHOENAWENDDIELATE. Of course, because spelling is the least important thing. I'm laughing at myself. Yeah, Max, you better get out of here. With more fear than neurons, he was in a shit situation. The house under construction, with its wooden boards, is a monument to imprudence. He wasn't a hero. No, not even the guy who was hiding behind the pots when the bell was ringing. The one that was locked in the bathroom during the earthquakes. The one who preferred to face an army of cockroaches rather than a cleaning job. So when I saw myself in the middle of a zombie outbreak, my first instinct was to look for a healthy exit. Not a heroic one, but a quick and secure one. And so I started my odyssey. I took out my phone and saw that it had a signal. I opened the app Fear Meter. It was an app that measured your level of cowardice in real time. The scorecard was in total panic. I breathed relieved. At least the app worked. I stumbled out the window. The street is full of hungry zombies, or cannibals, or walkers, or gals, or whatever the fuck they are. My mind started and I poured mud on my face and on my clothes and I began to walk. It worked and I was ignored. I came to my house and to my bed and I went out comfortably, but then he heard a noise. Someone was entering the room. I lifted up my head and saw my neighbor, holding a hammer and with her face full of fear. The beautiful Miss Rodriguez, whispering of relief, sat on my bed. "Max," she said. And he fainted. And so, surviving an outbreak and staying with a girl is not necessarily a thing of heroes, but it's not a walk through the mall either. Sometimes, a minimum of luck has its advantages. 404 not found. You know that.